Get ready for the biggest shakeup in the league. Draymond Green is back on Inside the NBA, trading serious barbs with Charles Barkley and dropping major predictions about the future of the Warriors. Green is flipping his stance on whether Steve Kerr will return to coach the team next season, and we dive deep into what he's really saying about the path forward for Golden State.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSockets Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the tension simmering around the Golden State Warriors as they face a potentially uncertain offseason. We're talking about the status of coach Steve Kerr and Draymond Green amidst team changes, including the departures of Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody due to injuries. Will the team find its footing moving forward? We are also taking a deep dive into the history of Golden State's success, tracing exactly which players have been drafted by the Warriors coming out of Davidson. We are uncovering the surprising connections between the team's stars and their college roots, showing you every player drafted by the Warriors from that program. And finally, Draymond Green unleashes another explosive shot at Charles Barkley, slamming him with a comment about looking like him in a Houston Rockets uniform. Green lays out the high stakes for the Warriors, acknowledging the tough payroll and the need to compete at a championship standard level. Don't miss this breakdown. Stay with us for the rest of the show. Draymond Green delivered a significant shift in his assessment of the Golden State Warriors' future coach, Steve Kerr, during a recent appearance on Inside the NBA. Trading his previous stance, Green expressed hope and belief that Kerr will return to lead the team next season, stating, "I think and hope he's coming back. What I do know is he wants to coach. So if he wants to coach, I think he comes back." This reverses a prior comment where Green suggested that a hug between Kerr and Steph Curry following a play-in tournament loss to the Phoenix Suns signaled the end of their championship run. The change in perspective came shortly after Kerr was seen at Oracle Park during a loss for the Giants, prompting a broader discussion about the Warriors' offensive strategy. Green also revisited past comments regarding Kerr's impact on his career, acknowledging that he had previously suggested Kerr had hindered his offensive role with the team, a remark he later clarified as being taken out of context when discussing praise for Kerr as a coach. The conversation also included a spirited exchange with Charles Barkley, who offered a more critical take on the team's viability, suggesting that the team's reliance on jump shooting had ultimately led to their decline, stating, "It's over for the Warriors. No disrespect, it is for every old team. You have your run, you get old." Green acknowledged the significance of the trio's embrace in Phoenix, suggesting it was a nod to their shared four-championship history. The exchange concluded with Green returning a barb to Barkley regarding age and performance, asserting that the goal is to avoid resembling Barkley's peak years in a Houston Rockets uniform. Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green engaged in a pointed exchange with Charles Barkley during an Inside the NBA segment on Wednesday, May 6, discussing the team's future. The conversation, which also featured Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson, highlighted uncertainties surrounding the Warriors, including the status of coach Steve Kerr and Green himself. The team is facing significant off-season considerations, notably the absence of Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody due to injuries sustained during the 2025-26 season, which will impact the team for much of the upcoming schedule. During the discussion, Charles Barkley suggested that both Green and Stephen Curry might need to contemplate leaving Golden State if they aim to remain contenders for NBA championships. In response to Barkley's assessment, Green delivered a sharp retort aimed at the Hall of Famer. Green stated, "I think the goal is to not look like you in the Houston Rockets uniform. That is ultimately the goal." Barkley's career trajectory provides context, noting that he spent his initial 8 years with the Philadelphia 76ers, followed by 4 seasons with the Phoenix Suns, where he secured an MVP award, and concluded his career with 4 years in the Rockets. Green has remained a fixture for the Warriors, having spent all 14 seasons with the franchise. The Golden State Warriors rely heavily on the NBA draft as a cornerstone of their team-building strategy, securing their most talented players either through direct selections or trades executed on the same night. This report delves into the history of Davidson players who have been drafted by the Warriors, examining the pathways these alumni took to join the franchise. The Warriors have incorporated talent from diverse backgrounds, drafting stars from various levels of collegiate basketball. This analysis focuses on identifying which Davidson players have made their mark in Golden State, detailing their draft history and tenure with the team. Two notable instances highlight this connection. In the 1965 NBA draft, a Davidson player was selected in the first round, securing a 3-season tenure at Davidson and 3 seasons with the Warriors. More recently, in the 2009 NBA draft, another Davidson player was selected in the first round, holding the 7th overall pick. This player spent 3 seasons at Davidson before joining the Warriors, ultimately playing 17 seasons with the organization. This compilation provides a look at the specific collegiate origins of players who have represented the Warriors, illustrating the team's strategy of acquiring talent across the basketball landscape. Draymond Green ignited fresh headlines by engaging in a pointed exchange with Charles Barkley during the Inside the NBA broadcast on Wednesday night. The discussion centered on the longevity and goals of a professional basketball career. When Barkley remarked that sports are for young people and that longevity beyond age 37 or 38 is challenging, Green offered a direct retort. Green stated, "Yeah, I think the goal is just to not look like you in a Houston Rockets uniform, is ultimately the goal for us." A comment clearly referencing the aspirations of his aging Golden State Warriors team featuring Stephen Curry and himself. Green elaborated on the team's commitment, emphasizing the ongoing pursuit of championship standards despite roster challenges. He acknowledged upcoming injuries, noting that key players like Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody are facing significant absences, which will impact the team's $160 million payroll. Green asserted that despite these hurdles, the objective remains to compete at a championship level. Green's comments drew reaction on social media. Some users commented on Barkley's tenure with the Rockets, with one suggesting the team aimed to avoid repeating past struggles. Green has also publicly addressed his relationship with former coach Steve Kerr, questioning whether Kerr hindered his offensive development. In a recent interview on The Draymond Green Show, Green reflected on Kerr's impact, stating that while some felt Kerr hindered him, he ultimately helped shape who he became, advising listeners to take the good with the bad. The exchange also led to a verbal disagreement with former NBA player Austin Rivers, who praised Green's career trajectory. Rivers called Green the luckiest basketball player ever, citing the caliber of teams and personnel he was drafted into, including Kevin Durant, and credited Steve Kerr for shaping his career.